I use the enemy randomizer mod to randomize all enemies in Elden Ring and beat the game as Zoro from One Piece. This means all open world enemies and all bosses are completely unknown and can be anything. You may be wondering if this is easy or maybe really difficult. The answer is, well, maybe. My luck, Malenia crashes my game, I have to fight Gargoyle Duo, and I run into my literal arch nemesis. I don't want to spoil everything, but trust me, there's a lot more that goes wrong. The only rule I set for myself is that I get 3 rerolls. And honestly, if you keep watching, you'll see how valid these rerolls are. There is a fair amount of pain with each reroll, I promise. They are not for free. If you want to watch that pain live, subscribe, so you know when I'm streaming right here on YouTube. Okay, let's go. We start the run by choosing the Samurai class and selecting our main character's preset I created in the last video. I went with the Lands in Between Ruin as my keepsake, but I would recommend the 3 cracked pots. It is a randomizer after all, and you may end up having to fight Godskin Duo. Now for armor, if you're doing this but not playing a randomizer and you want a more accurate representation of Zoro, I recommend the Nox Greaves. I'm not using them in this run because the enemies are randomized, so I actually don't know where to find the gear. We keep the samurai armor for the majority of the run with some small changes in the later game to avoid getting one shot. Now it's time for the first of many interesting encounters. Our very first boss battle gets a little weird and doesn't last long, so I'll let this fight ride without any explanation. Wait, why? Scepter, are you guys fused together? What happened? What? Okay, there we go. What? I've never experienced that before. That's new. Oh! You were quick. What the hell? Are they usually that fast? What? Now, for the Zoro build, I wanted to get katanas that matched up with Zoro's progression of ownership in One Piece. Starting with the Uchigatana is perfect for representing Zoro's first sword, as the Wado Ichimonji was given to him by a close friend. Elden Ring gives you a strong lasting weapon in a similar way. Now, it's time to do all the things every run has to endure, the starting setup. Our first major goal is to pick up the Moonveil. This katana is the closest moveset-wise we can get to Zoro, as it's the only katana that can slice through the sky. This weapon will represent our Enma. But first we stop by Kale to grab the crafting kit, some spare throwing pots, and a cookbook just in case we run into deathbirds. We also indulge in the random enemies and kill the first one we see. We head to our first site of grace to pick up Torrent, and then we grab the whetstone knife. We do have to keep in mind our progression. So while we pick up the rest of our gear for the first part of the game, we need to get both halves of the Dectus medallion. And during the strut around the lands in between, I pick up golden seeds and sacred tears. And of course, any other rocks to help level up our weapons. Then we need to grab one of the best buffs in Elden Ring. Golden Vow. Usually dropped by a man on a horse, but that tricky randomizer gave us the hands instead. Also, heads up, I literally never use it. I have no idea why. I guess I just didn't feel like buffing for some reason. I don't know. Now for the part that turns everyone against us. We need that extra 10% damage to our Ash of Wars, and for some reason this idiot has it inside of him. But of course we aren't allowed to commit this cardinal sin without the randomizer interrupting. Did I not talk enough? Bro, what the hell?
Are you willing?
Yes.
Are you willing? Are you willing?
He's getting... Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ, dude. It's one of these motherfuckers. God damn it, dude. Our wits. Oh, that sucks, man. Hiya! Give me that. Now, this item is crucial. You must pick it up. Because if we run into Godskin Duo, it will be our only saving grace.
Do like a thing for me?
What? Excuse you? Also, don't forget to shake off the first death jitters by plunging down a ravine. Bro, God's fucking stupid, dude. Obvious pickup here is the Flask of Physic, the Sacred Tear, and of course, Sacred Blade, the Ash of War. Then we make our way to Kaled with the Warp to get to the Round Table Hold, level up the Uchi, and grab a knife for Golden Vow. We're all fans of creatively piecing together a build based around some of our favorite characters, I'm sure of it. But some of us also get bored halfway through that process, and take the flat damage Ash of War Sacred Blade into the first major boss fight with a +2 Uchigatana. And of course, it's you. Honestly, we shouldn't be surprised that the randomizer memed us on the literal first boss of the run, but here we are. Some of us also really hate Gideon and decide to go do some leveling up and finish the first draft of that build before killing the first boss. Also, Nightcap bosses aren't randomized because there are a lot of them, which isn't at all bad. It means I can go get my free runes and level up my vigor for more health and intelligence to wield the Moonveil. We did also pick up the Sacred Scorpion Charm for beating this NPC. This was not on purpose, as I thought the talisman was dropped by a different NPC, but hey, we're using Holy right now anyway. Finally, we make it to the keeper of our version of Enma. And unlike Hiyori, who gifts it to Zoro in One Piece, we have to take it here by any means necessary. Ow. You've got to be fucking kidding me, dude. Yeah, so it will become more apparent throughout the video, but I'm actually cursed. The boss encounters I get are bottom shelf. Thankfully, Revenant is so vile that we can obliterate him by healing, but not that healing. Only this heal. But before we do that, we have to get the Source Seal Talisman, kill all 5 enemies around Mama Dragon, level up, and kill Gideon. Seeing Revenant made me want to vomit, so we ended up fighting Gideon first. I thought it would take longer, but I beat him around my 5th attempt. Okay, idiot. Oh! Okay, just get out of it. Fucking goddamn. Okay. So now we're all caught up. Okay, maybe I lied and not enough time had passed since seeing Revenant, so I went ahead and checked who Godric morphed into. I also may or may not have fought them to pad the time between Revenant encounters. We've killed Morgott a ton of times in other videos, so this fight was played loose and reckless. I want to explain my thought process for each of these fights, but in all honesty, Morgott in an earlier arena means he's weaker than normal, so I just spammed and it looked like this. Okay, well, we're just not gonna mess with that. Okay. Okay, we take those. Yeah. Nope. Oh, you dumb bitch. Hiya? Idiot. Easiest boss in the game, dude. Not even fucking worried about it. Okay, now for real, we're caught up. And we got our Enma. I wish the encounter was more reasonable like Hiyori. There's a level of respect with this transaction that I can't recreate in Elden Ring, but at least we have the Moonveil now. Now that we have the Moonveil, the next tasks are to get the stats to wield it, level it up, grab the next half of the medallion, and complete the weapon portion of our build by getting the Dragonscale Blade. In order to get to the Lake of Rot where the Dragonscale Blade is located, we need to progress in Ranni's questline, which means we need to access Nokrum, which means we need to fight Radahn. Now, if you have been paying attention, you would know this is an enemy randomizer, and we hit our very first wall of the run. Star Scourge, just kidding, it's only the first phase of Rennala. I was both disappointed and relieved that it was only Rennala, because at this point, I had been streaming for 3 hours and I was very tired. But I also wanted to fight bosses I normally didn't encounter. Rennala. What the fuck? What was going on over there? Do you see that? Alright, Remembrance boss down. Star Scourge Remembrance, hell yeah. Easy, baby. Anyway, with Rennala dead, now we have access to the underground, and past Senrab can finally go to bed. It's now day 2, and we need to continue Ranni's questline by paying a visit to Loretta to gain access to Ranni. But before that, we stop by the Round Table Hold to grab our 3rd pouch, and also grab the Claw Talisman. The run to Loretta was a little difficult because there are so many spirit enemies on the bridge, but I did want to show a little bit because it's cool to see random enemies with a spirit form. They're just kind of there. After spiriting away, we finally get to see what our encounter is. To my surprise, it was a Dragonkin soldier. If you didn't know, in the Lake of Rot in vanilla Elden Ring, you have to fight the Dragonkin soldier in order order to get the Dragonscale Blade. So we literally couldn't avoid this little guy. This Dragonkin, however, is the cooler, more dramatic version that you fight in the underground. I think they're a sick looking boss, and honestly, I'm okay with this encounter. The only thing is, this version of the Dragonkin wields lightning that also deals frost damage. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but the whole arena is a shallow basin of water, which means the lightning damage here is increased. It's not the biggest mountain to climb because we deal enough damage per hit, and this boss doesn't have a ton of intricate moves, but for someone who deals lightning damage and can cover the whole arena, yeah, I'd say there were nicer bosses to randomize into here. Also, he's a little spammer. Bro, are you serious right now? Where am I supposed to go? After a few deaths, I realized that fighting Dragonkin requires a more simple approach of nicely placed transient moonlights and some good old-fashioned dual-wielding spam. There we go. Hit him! Oh, okay, he was dying. I was like, what the shit? We then talked to Ronnie and made our way to our next boss. I'm very excited for this one. Not for any specific reason, really. I just get excited with the random bosses. Fucking fire giant, dude. Ew. Second phase fire giant. Ew. Stinky. Before going through the pleasurable experience that is Fire Giant, I decided that we should get the Wing Sword Talisman, and picked up some poison blooms and toxic mushrooms for stank pots and stank blade. Conveniently, the mushrooms we were farming also happened to be next to Millicent, and of course, in her little tasks, it includes another randomized boss. So obviously we had to check it out out of pure convenience, and not just because I didn't want to fight the second phase of Fire Giant. Look, a commander avatar. Hiya. Hiya! You just die immediately too, right? Yep, okay, cool. First try, baby. Not even worried about it. I think you get decent money for this too. Oh, no you don't. Oh. Because I wanted to be extra prepared and not because I was avoiding Fire Giant, I also went to pick up some pots from Kale. Okay, well I have to try out some of the new talismans, so we should fight the Wandering Field boss now. Again, this is for peak prep, not because I don't want to fight Fire Giant. I mean, it's pretty good. It's okay damage. It's my first bleed ever with this build, by the way. I really don't think... Oh, you're this one. Okay. I just don't think katanas are as good as everyone thinks they are. Okay, for Mimic Fire Giant, I decided that I'd use some poison to try and combat the large health pool and stick to the safer damage options at his feet rather than his arms. I also really had to watch out for the random fire ricochets in this arena because it's tiny. Thankfully, the big pillars aren't breakable, and for the scary bits, I just hid behind them. Your all-time nemesis is Freeday? Or Freeday? Freed? Yeah. She's a hard boss. Yeah, this is doable, though. I just need to figure out a decent strat. I have plenty of poison grease. I just need to use this and unsheath, I think. And then when he's poisoned, Is he poisoned? He's finally poisoned!
Hell yeah.
Okay, somehow this fight was very boring, but also a nail-biter at the same time. So we're just gonna move along. We're just gonna move ahead to the end here. Uh-oh. Well, at this point, you either have to focus up or give into the run because, yeah, I'm looking a little low there. But this fight sucks so hard that I decided to focus up instead because I definitely did not want to fight him again. A bleed right now would be nice. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, very doable, I guess. How much fucking health do I have, dude? 28 HP. Phew. That was a close one. I still hate Fire Giant, though. But we can finally get what we came for and head back to Ronnie. This next portion of Ronnie's questline I'm really unfamiliar with. On top of that, a randomizer in this area is kind of brutal. What? Dude, really? We're finally getting to the part of the questline that will take us to the Lake of Rot. We just need to talk to Rani the doll.
Be fine. I hadn't expected, but now the perform for me a service as eliminate the name of Rani the Witch.
And
I
of
will
course,
not
fight the terrifying shadow of Rani the Witch. This is him? This is your shadow?
tell the two faces
Ronnie, come on. You could do better than this, baby.
cometh.
This is your shadow?
Flesh.
This dude acts like a shadow. Cowering behind something, I don't know. And we've made it. Okay, as the viewer, I need you to imagine this. You're stuck with only the katana weapon class. Your primary damage comes from swinging a lot and bleed. And you've mistakenly thought a randomizer would be easier than normal because you don't have to fight against specific bosses that are immune to your bullshit. Then, in a literal toxic wasteland, the single most important enemy you fight that's gatekeeping the final piece to your Zoro build is this fucking guy. A big ass rock that doesn't bleed. Our only saving grace here is that the Moonveil has magical damage. The rock only has 20% resistance to magic damage, but not all damage from the Moonveil is magic, so we really don't do a lot. While you enjoy a montage of 2x speed, let me tell you why I chose the Dragonscale Blade as the final part of Zoro's build. The Dragonscale Blade represents Zoro's Sandai Kitetsu? I don't know. It's a cursed sword of superior strength and quality. In the One Piece universe, the Sandai Kitetsu is said to have a curse that will bring a horrible death to all of its owners. After Zoro tests his luck against the cursed blade, he mentions that the sword is a bit of a problem child, and most notably, it's bloodthirsty. Now, there isn't any katana in Elden Ring that really has the same level of depth in the backstory that I know of, but we do have to kill a beast in the middle of a hellish swamp, and the Dragonscale Blade also has a cold lightning infusion Ash of War. It's as close to the bloodthirsty, hellish, edgy nature of the Sandai Kitetsu that Elden Ring can offer with a randomizer. This kill actually took me a while. There's no bleed and my main damage is from a low-level partial magic katana. So I spent some time gathering resources to level up the Moonveil, including Somber Stones and some extra runes. Because this is a randomizer run, it's fun to check out what bosses are switched. So naturally I went and checked up on Rykard, and you'll never believe what I found. We totally beat Fire Giant. Don't go check the third Zoro rando stream at the 40-minute mark. I promise it happened. Before we return to the Falling Star Beast, Zoro got lost and we ended up doing some progression in the main quest to change up the pace. Dude, starting with gaining access to the capital, killing the avatar replacement enemy, which turned out to be some little guy, picking up the Ritual Shield Talisman, and fighting the yellow Radagon? First Elden Lord? Okay, this was a good fight. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it run with like not a whole lot of commentary here. Just watch. Don't leave. You know? Okay? It's just... Okay? Okay. I think I almost did that hitless. Bitch!
Lasagna.
See, I told you it was a good fight. I literally almost did a hitless, aside from that one dodge at the end there. You saw. Anyway, we're moving on to the real bullshit of the run. Here we go, baby. The first difficulty you were shown when you first started watching this video was not the Falling Star Beast. It was this. This is the first true roadblock because this is the first reroll I used. Fucking... I don't know how to... I fought Millennia maybe 4 times. Oh, God, dude. Oh, fucking Christ. But before we show you why we rerolled, we finish up the Falling Star Beast. Okay, so the Moonveil is now a +9. We have partial magic damage with a good Ash of War, so realistically this fight shouldn't be so bad, right? Wrong. No bleed, low damage for a +9, and small battlefield surrounded by rot, and a boss resistant to slash damage equals a bad time. In fact, due to all of that, and Zoro never encountering this beast moveset before, the bad time lasted for about an hour in total. For this fight, it took me some time to find and implement the best timing for the best payoffs, but here's what I learned. When the Falling Star Beast charges you 3 times in a row, you need to dodge to the left side of his head because there's an extended hitbox on the right side where he dips his head down to smash upwards. You can literally ride his forehead for a bit, so it makes the left side roll really consistent. With the next move, you can outrun the individual spikes without rolling, but on the final burst, it's ideal to pivot in any one direction the second the move starts, and you need to roll at the last second. Otherwise, you get pierced by the lingering hitbox of the spike. For head swipes and ground pounds, I recommend just getting to the side of them. You can avoid being hit pretty easily with a well-timed dodge. If you're feeling it, you can also jump over the head swipe move. The cannonball is easily avoided if you run straight under the boss. Any other direction, you might get tagged with an unfair hitbox. Now here was my favorite discovery. If you hit the falling star beast in the head while it's doing the head charge attack, you can instantly knock it down. There is no riposte, but it will give you time to land some clean headshots or just get some free damage in. Plus it looks sick. And that's pretty much it. Now we're all falling star professionals. And we have the fabled Dragonscale Blade. Heck yeah, dude. Okay. First try, by the way. After visiting EG for some weapon upgrades, we finally get to the first pain of the run. The first reroll. Personally, I think because it was Melania, and because she started crashing my game every 30 seconds. Like, we'll just do Frost into that. I wonder, any kind of fire will reset. Why doesn't it? Dude, this was a perfectly acceptable place to reroll. And I won't lie, this was definitely a skill check for me, but I couldn't handle losing a good attempt to the game crashing hours into learning how to fight Melania. So yeah, we reroll. The first reroll of this run turned out to be it. Hello? Oh, okay, yeah, you're not supposed to be here. I was like, wait a minute, Thankfully, Godfrey is one of the easiest bosses to handle. First phase Godfrey is literally the same as Golden Godfrey, moveset-wise anyways. For some reason, the Gold Spirit version has a full double-sided axe, and the real Godfrey has a malformed one. I have no idea why that is, but I'm assuming the shadows are like previous forms of them, so maybe it was just before an accident or something? I don't know. Dude, dual wielding? These sucks. Okay, before I get hunted down for saying that, they're just so slow, man. They're just so slow, and they don't do anything else special besides bleed. Okay, I don't think they're as good as everyone thinks they are. That's it. This fight's pretty basic. The biggest thing that you have to know about this fight is that you can strafe his left side for like most of his like little swings. And then you have to roll and dodge like the big AoE stuff, but it's pretty easy. I'm not used to fighting second phase this long. There we go. First try! We were going to make our way to Fire Giant Arena, but Zoro got lost again, and ended up back in Rykard's Arena, which wasn't the biggest deal since we rerolled. And you'll never guess who I ran into. Oh, Goldfree. Okay. Yeah, apparently the Sandai Kitetsu was bloodthirsty, but only for forms of Godfrey. Anyway, after that, Zoro got lost in the mountaintops of the Giants. How would I normally do this? Is there like a jet thing I can jump on, or do you get replaced by the gold? Nope. Well, I guess I'll run around until I figure it out. Okay, so this fight is pretty easy because it's just Red Wolf, but it does have some extra HP, so I did die a few times. Also, because this arena has a massive slope, dodging some of the sword swings and staying close is impossible sometimes. We're gonna let this one roll into the bigger reveal at the second phase. We won't say who it is, but god damn it, the Sandai Kitetsu is thirsty, dude. I can't jump it here because the slant. Bro, no? Gonna heal? Didn't get to heal. No, it's actually a difficult boss. Are you surprised? I told you he was thirsty. We can't avoid Godfrey. We've gotten every iteration of him in this run. Zoro must be drawn to main character. Anyway, in this arena, the wide range of moves of Horolu can be difficult to dodge because the slant makes things all wonky. So after getting rolled on foot, I decided to see what it would be like to fight him on horseback. I mean, it's available, and it's a mechanic we typically don't have access to in this fight, so couldn't hurt. For this fight on horseback, I was able to pretty much always stay out of his reach, and whenever he left a larger window of time after missing an attack, I just rushed in and hit him with Enma. Honestly, this wasn't the most exciting way to beat a boss, but what was exciting was using a new mechanic on a boss to overcome its difficult hitboxes. I literally beat him on my first try on Torn, and disrespected him at the end. Not good. Why am I doing this? Could you stop? That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah? Oh, okay. Ooh, innovative. After that experience, we got lost a little more in Senrab and finally found our way into the Godskin Duo boss arena. And with our heightened spatial awareness, we deduced that the next boss encounter was... You better not be... Oh. No, never mind. You're Moog. You're right there. Why am I only getting the strong boss? I guess it's not really a bad thing. I am both delighted and upset that I'm forced to fight Moog in this run. The real Moog, with his second phase, can be bled and is not immune to status effects. But his second phase is something I really don't have experience with. And neither does Zoro. In fact, until after this run, I didn't know his first phase that well at all. Because I've only beaten him like maybe 3 times. And each time I used a much higher level character using weapons that I knew how to use. They were real builds. It was a real playthrough. Very different. That being said, with the new Elden Ring DLC releasing next month, and Moog being a pivotal part in gaining access to it, it's actually a blessing in disguise that I'm forced to learn his moveset. If you have a keen eye, you can tell in the sped up footage that Zoro is trying many different tactics in this fight. He tried summoning Bernal, adding stank to his Wado Ichimonji, bleeding and freezing. He even got rid of all his clothes. But none of that really worked. What ended up working was putting back on the clothes and fighting him for 50 minutes straight with Bernal. I'm gonna be honest, because I summoned Bernal, we didn't get to familiarize with Moog as much as I wanted, because boss AI works very differently when there's more than one person present. You'll get random pivots in the middle of strings, and sometimes a full 360 that catches you off guard. The winning strategy for this fight was timely jump attacks with dual katanas. We needed to maximize the damage of a single encounter as much as possible due to the random AI events, and with that, we narrowly won. Oh, Bernard, you got this. Hiya? I'm feeling so much tension right now. At this point, Bernal's almost dead, and I have 0 healing. Yes! Yes! There we go, Bernard. That's how you do. I keep calling you Bernard. Oh, I know that's not your name. Oh my god. Unsurprisingly, the next thing that happened was Zoro got lost again. There's absolutely no way that this is required. I don't think it's been said in this video yet, but when I do these runs and I'm not live and it's like a vanilla run, I use teleports to go from grace to grace at the end segments of the game. It saves a ton of time while playing, recording, and editing, and it's content that wouldn't be put in the video anyway. I mean, unless it's a deathless run or something, I don't think anyone wants to see 30-minute intervals of horseback riding and walking. Anyway, we finally made it to Malekith's arena. Yeah, I don't know what this luck is, man. We literally can't avoid these men. I will say, though, this isn't the worst because this arena is much better, and this is Sewer Moog. This Moog can't be bled and is immune to all other status effects, but doesn't have a crazy second phase. And there's absolutely no chance of a second phase being the absolute worst boss in the entire game. Right? Wrong. Yeah, this randomizer really has it out for me. Valiant Gargoyles, 2 bosses, with a stank breath that covers the entire field and kills me in a few ticks. After fighting Moog, look, we tried fighting, okay? We fought this boss gauntlet for an hour and 43 minutes straight. We really wanted to do this. During the 1 hour and 43 minutes, we learned Moog Phase 1. And it turns out he's not even that difficult. Flaws, spacing, and timing really show themselves when you consecutively fight the same boss for that long, so I've thoroughly prepared myself for Moog in all the future DLC runs. We ended up beating Moog a lot in these attempts, so much so that sometimes I didn't use my Flask of Physic or even heals by the time the Valiant Idiot showed up. The real mountain though was the stupid stank breath attacks covering the entire arena. You literally cannot get away from it, and the tick damage is insane. So we took a break and re-rolled, leaving us with only one more of those in the tank. Thankfully, we have a ton of Beast Red Wolf practice, and this isn't intimidating. The only real issue is that Red has some extra health here and does a lot of damage. But aside from that, it's the standard. The boss transition, however, is a weird one. I've only fought them one time before. There wasn't much strategy for this fight. You just kind of run away and deal some poke damage to whoever shows up first. That's particularly why I don't like PvP bosses, but hey, we don't have to see Valiant Gargoyles anymore, right? Let's see, can I... Oh yeah, we can definitely peek in there. Bro, I can't escape them. Is this better not be that good. This better be the gargoyle that stands at in this place in Lendale guarding that tree. It better fucking be that one, dude. I swear to God. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. Even in Gideon's absence, he memes. Yeah, so we randomized again and are not counting this one. From here on out, in this run, and any run in the future, I'm allowing myself the grace of not fighting these idiots. Maybe if we have a weapon that's good against them, but bleed and slash, not happening. So instead, we get to fight Leonian Misbegotten, the All-Knowing, who literally destroyed me, and then got destroyed. This is one of the most volatile bosses I've ever fought. I don't even know how to fight him still, because he died so easily. But that was only after he two-shot me before I could touch him. Sometimes it'd just be like that in Elden Ring. Clearly, the next thing we did was bulldoze the next Oh, never mind, it's Nile. We know the general strat is to get rid of his goons first, as they don't respawn, but that can be tricky without Bewitching Branches. Oh, sweet, 5 should be enough. Okay, it works like immediately. Are you... Okay, never mind. Screw the branches. Since this was only phase 1 of the boss and there would still be more to fight afterward, I didn't want to rely on these branches and stress out over only having 5 of them, so we just learned how to fight them. The spirits leave huge backstab windows after using some attack, so we recommend capitalizing on that whenever they allow it. But the biggest secret is that the Claw Talisman on jumping L1 attacks are enough to stagger the spirits. There are some attacks that give them higher poise and won't be staggered, so you have to avoid attacking into those, and you also have to keep track of Nile when you do this, but he doesn't really swing on you unless you're really close together. Nile often opts to buff his spirits instead. The next step is to learn Nile himself. And honestly, he's intimidating because at this point, for Zoro, due to his lower level and questionable fashion, he still gets one shot by the lightning kick, and there are 2-hit combos that will also kill you from full HP. Spoiler! Past Senrab is going to learn soon that there is another boss to fight. I'll drop in a few comments as the fight progresses. This fight was actually not irritating to learn at all because the spirits don't respawn, and because Nile's moveset isn't bullshitty, I actually would rate this high on a duo boss tier list. One comment I do want to make is that rolling into Nile for most of his moves works great, but he has a whirling ice storm attack that can't be dodged if you're inside the radius. There is no angle that allows you to perfectly dodge it, at least from what I can tell from the time that I spent fighting him. You just can't be in there. Not enough iframes. That didn't hit. Fuck, dude, there is another phase. There's a
Whole nother boss.
It's not that bad, but I need to get better at the other if I don't beat it, though. At this point, I am not only tired, but extremely focused, so I'm very quiet. But this is a close call. No way. We did it. Holy shit. Thank God he didn't have a lot of health. Yes, dude. Oh my god. Damn. Another nail biter. Glad that's over. What actually determines the amount of bosses in the fight? Is it the fact that there's like a cutscene transition? I don't know. Somebody please tell me. Fights like these are the most rewarding and are the reason I still play Souls games. We took almost an hour to beat the Ragtag duo and pulled a win on the first attempt on the second phase, not even knowing that there was a second phase. That's freaking awesome. That's really rewarding. It all comes down to this. The final two bosses of the Zoro randomizer run. From the first boss to the last boss, Margit of the Golden Order. This is kind of fitting for a few reasons. He is usually the first boss, and if given the opportunity to be a golden god, he surely would partake. Well, Morgott would at least. And this is his shadow, so I think that would transfer over. I don't know. The lore in this game is still confusing. Here we go. The final boss of this run. Of course, it's them. There's no way the randomizer would let me finish this run without kicking me in the balls first. Fucking kidding me. I don't have pots. So we decided it's best to go gather sleep pots and do this the usual way. I traversed in all places I knew that had Trina lilies and pots, but the best I could do was about 6 sleeping pots, which should technically be enough, but that's only if I don't miss any and I don't die. Thankfully, I have impeccable aim. But then the duo did something I've literally never seen or experienced. Not only has this never happened to me directly, but I've literally never seen it in the hundreds of hours of watched content of this game. All right, big boy, I need you to do like a thing for me. What? Excuse you? Yeah, so they can just wake each other up? Since when? Like, actually, since when? Now, I'm not saying this was impossible. This isn't like Valiant Gargoyles, where due to the field being fully covered in a status that kills us in seconds, it warrants an instant reset. But this boss sucks. It's been 15 hours of gameplay, and I have one more reroll, and I have a video to make. Yeah, I'm definitely rerolling. What the fuck is that? Okay, here it is. The real final bosses. I mean it this time. I actually can't get this randomizer to cooperate with me. It's either a version of Godfrey, an ancestor spirit, or a shit duo boss. The second phase better not be something ridiculous. No. Do not drag me in there. This fight is literally the exact same as the other one. You've already seen it. We're just gonna... Yeah, there we go. But of course it is. It just has to be this. If you don't know, Beast Clergyman and I have a history. I don't like this boss's hurt boxes. I think they're really unfair. And I've always had a hard time learning his moves with the weapons I've used against him in past videos. Thankfully, I don't have much of an issue fighting him anymore, but every time I see him, a little spark of rage ignites in my bones. This was attempt number 4, and I'm just gonna let this one play out. I'm going for it. No. You. My silence while fighting shows how dialed in I am. No. Didn't full heal, no. Okay, we got this. We got this. Focus. Are you dead? Oh. Yes! That's the run, baby. Let's go! Fucking finally. What is the... Hold on, we're checking the game time. We're checking the... Oh my god. 15 hours. After 15 plus hours of gaming, we've finally done it. We beat the Elden Ring randomizer as Zoro from One Piece. It was a hellish randomizer, and we did use 3 rerolls, but I gotta say, we're doing this again, baby. We're just gonna do this with, maybe not katanas. Make sure to catch me live in all future runs, and check out some of my other videos, you know? I'm gonna be making more. So, okay, that's it. Bye-bye.